Scottish Crannog Centre is an open-air museum based on Loch Tay. We celebrate the lives of people that lived 2,500 years ago out over the loch in these buildings called crannogs. At the museum we have an Iron Age village on the shore where we tell these different stories using crafts, traditional skills and hands-on activities, but we also have over 5,000 objects within our collection, so there's lots and lots of pieces for people to see, and those objects are the beginning of that story. They're what we base everything on. So environmental sustainability is incredibly important to the Crannog Centre because we are learning from the people of the past, and these people that lived on Loch Tay 2,500 years ago, we see evidence of how they live within their landscape. They're coppicing the trees to build the buildings that you can see behind me. They are working within the materials that they have locally. So when we came to rebuild this building after the fire, we had a fire in 2021 which destroyed our original Crannog reconstruction, and the decision was we would build again. We'd do what Crannog people do. You'd be thankful no one was hurt, you gather up your belongings and you go and build a new home. And if we're going to build a new home, we're going to build it as much as possible how they would have done. So using local resources, thinking about sustainable growth, sustainable ways of working, the circular economy, but also sustainability in other aspects. So within this build and within this village, we have a lot of young people or apprentices or people training in these skills. So it's also about sustaining those skills in the future. The benefits that we've seen by becoming more sustainable as the Crannog Centre have just been throughout everything that we do. So within sustainability in terms of training and young people and keeping these skills alive, we're seeing people becoming completely enthusiastic about thatching techniques or how to build dry stone walls. It's also looking at the procurement and how we've built the building. So by thinking sustainably, we're celebrating Scottish. We're celebrating what we can build using Scottish timber, Scottish design, local design. Even our logo and our branding was designed by a young man from Perth College who was finishing his qualification. It's all printed by local printers. So it's just all of that. It's one whole package of how you look at what you do. So we share our sustainability story through a lot of different ways. A lot of it is speaking to people as they come. So all of the visitors that come through the door, we deliver spoken tours. So it's all part of that oral tradition. It's a conversation with someone where you begin to share your ideas and your thinking. So in cooking, we'll be talking about seasonal cooking and seasonal ingredients, and then people will say, well, I make my own wine, or I make my own jam at this time of year, and then recipes start to move throughout the group of visitors. Or we'll go into textiles and we'll think about how you repair clothes rather than just buying new clothes, and how people in the past would do this as well. And so it's this sustainable thinking that kind of happens throughout the village. So a lot of our work is talking to people all the time. I mean, we go to conferences and we've won awards and things like that, but I think the most meaningful thing is when you have a one-to-one conversation with a person and you connect on a human level about these things that we all care about. For people starting their sustainability journey within the tourism industry, I think there are challenges, and it's trying to look at things from the point of view of what is the story that you're telling, what is it that you do, being bold, not holding back just because something's difficult. It's trying to see the way around it, looking at what other people can bring as well. So rather than necessarily looking outward to people to tell you what to do, what do your team care about? What do they think? What can you change? And looking locally as well. So we're in a really rural area, but we have an enormous wealth of resources and people with specialised skills, even just within Aberfeldy, Kenmore and Fernan. So trying to tap into those local resources as well, and those local skills, local knowledge that can help you become more sustainable, because it's not just sustainable in terms of the environment, then you're sustainable with your relationships and your networks and everything else. So it's a holistic thing.